Nelson.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. Yes, 2 playoff spots have been confirmed so far. We could see another one wrapped up here tonight. Newcastle are going to need some help from elsewhere if they're to finish in the top 4 for the first time since 2021. Their final 2 games are must-wins to achieve that starting here. Cheshire are all but mathematically wrapped up second place in the standings. It's not when, but if they confirm it. And, of course, these 2 teams could play next week in the quarter-finals. That could still shake out. It is the Newcastle Eagles against the Cheshire Phoenix here at the Virtue Motors Arena. And Cheshire pretty much know where they're going to finish. Newcastle still have a range of positions they could finish in, Kyla. Important for them to get a win, not only for the seedings, but also get a bit of momentum going into the playoffs.
Exactly. It's all about rhythm as we head to the playoff time, and they need these wins. They want to still be able to finish 4th, and it's about controlling what you can and getting your job done when your time comes.
Well, we'll see if they can do that. Let's have a look at the starting 5. Very familiar looking 5, this for Newcastle, Kyla.
Yeah, they go with this group very often. You've got Darius Defoe, Ricky McGill, Jordan Johnson, Larry Austin Jr. and Taj Green, with Josh Ward-Hibbett back on the bench.
Yeah, big plus for them on the bench with Josh returning at the other end of the floor. We've seen a lot of this Cheshire lineup this season as well.
Yeah, and his work time in, time out with sharpshooter Skylar White, Maceo Jack, trophy MVP LaQuincy Rideau, Ethan Chargois and Aaron Rye.
Well, these 2 teams have a lot of firepower. We'll talk through some of them right after this break. Welcome back to our coverage of the British Basketball League here. Newcastle Eagles taking on the Cheshire Phoenix, and the driving force of the Newcastle Eagles, coming off a sensational performance last week in this building, Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, he is their bread and butter. That's who needs to play well if they want a chance to go deep into the playoffs. You see him coming off a lot of handoffs and ball screens and creating for himself from the mid-range. He can hit the 3 as well. He just takes his time to make great reads. And like we said, a big last couple of games, 32 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists against Bristol. and a 20-piece against Surrey.
And the way he drives to the basket gets him to the free throw line an awful lot. And speaking of excellent performances, last week, Maceo, Jack, unbelievable shooting performance against Sheffield.
Absolutely, 31 points. That's a season high for him, going 7 for 8 from the three. He gives it up early to get it back and no hesitation in knocking that one down. And this man has improved by 11% from beyond the arc since last season, which is huge.
Yeah, he was pretty good last year. He's been excellent this year.
Absolutely, and he just shows he can do it in a variety of ways. He's really good coming off the dribble and likes to shoot the ball with his left, coming off with the left side.
Deadly in the corner as well, with the two coaches are having a conversation, and earlier I managed to catch up with both of them to gauge their thoughts ahead of the game.
We understand that we're going through a couple of bumps at the minute, and our form over the last 8 games hasn't been what we want it to be in terms of results. We've been playing spells of good basketball throughout that. We need to build on that and have a level of consistency. But yeah, we absolutely understand tonight's game, and that's our focus.
It's a good test for us. Like I say, they've got a lot to play for. Us, on the other hand, not so much. But this is the only team in the league that we technically don't have the head-to-head over, other than London. I mean, obviously the one with Caledonia tied, but points difference means we have it. So that's our goal, is to have the head-to-head on every other team apart from London.
Credit to everybody in the Cheshire Phoenix organisation. I think I've said it, it's probably been the best roster construction, this year, and they've went a different way, maybe not a stereotypical way on how you build rosters. So yeah, credit to them. They're a tough basketball team. They've got some weapons in different areas for sure.
We lost 3 games in the bounce just at the turn of the year. But apart from that, we've never lost more than 1. So it's definitely nice to be competing at a high level week in, week out. And it's just something to build on, that we want to ensure that we're here to stay.
Well, tip-off is almost upon us. The ball will go up right after this break. Welcome back to Newcastle. Stodds alongside Ian McDonald and Nick Nassiar, 3 officials for tonight's game as the two teams make their way out on court. Larry Austin, of course, going against his former team, and the Cheshire Phoenix looking to mathematically secure themselves second place. It really is only mathematical. Cheshire, in theory, could be caught by Caledonia, but it requires about 120-point swing in the 3 games, so it's not going to happen. Newcastle, though, anywhere from 4th to 7th, they've got the most variation, but 4th is only possible if they win all their games. So they have to win here today. And the 2 5s are out and ready to go. Shagwa against Green to jump it up. And we are underway, and Darius Defoe will hand it off to Jordan Johnson. McGill. Green comes to the low post, no pass there. Johnson trying to create some room. He's kind of stuck, needs to get the shot away, finds the space in the end, and Taj Green can't make it at the first attempt, but does at the second.
I like the initial patience of Newcastle trying to run their offense, but then it got really stuck in Johnson's hand. He found a way of getting it up, and a good job by Taj Green to clean up the boards.
Yeah, I think Ben Thomas will be... Oh, nice pass, and laid in by Jack, cutting back door.
Yeah, we talked about his 3-point shooting. He can do it all. Nice cut there.
Darius Defoe at the elbow. That's his spot. It's not usually that far off balance, though. And here is Jack stepping into a 3. Newcastle love to run if they can get out in the open court. You've got to have good transition defense. That is why, because Jordan Johnson knows his way to the basket.
He absolutely does, and a good job by Taj Green sealing off his defender to allow Johnson to get all the way to the rim.
Well, they've got to the basket on 2 easy passes here, Cheshire.
It looks like Newcastle are really protecting that three-point line, which is allowing slips and cuts for Cheshire to get points in the paint.
Well, I guess his theory is they can't make enough twos to beat you. They can make enough threes, but not if they're giving you layups underneath, though.
Absolutely. Newcastle let Surrey shoot 42% from the three-point last game, and that was a big reason why they lost.
Well, it's obviously been a point of emphasis for Coach Dukel. Here's Shagwar getting a three away. Long rebound comes out to Jack. And the thing is, they can all shoot, the Cheshire players. As Rideau gets all the way to the rim, gets the friendly bounce.
Yeah, Rideau's been on a roll, a triple-double last game, and he can just do it all for this Cheshire team.
Johnson driving in, finds McGill in the corner, overcooks everything, falls into the hands of Rye. Rye looking to push, and he slows it down. He's fouled by Defoe and will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that's who you don't want pushing the ball downhill in transition. And a lot of time, you have to foul Aaron Rye. He changes the speed of his steps and the length of them, which makes it really hard to read when he's going up. So a lot of the time, it means you're reaching for that ball and getting him on the arm.
I think Aaron Rye is one of the best players I've ever seen at slowing down. He beats you with his slowness almost. He's going at one pace and then he puts the brakes on. You go flying by, gets a layup.
All about change of speed. If you go extra slow to extra slow, the defense is still having to adjust to that. So he does a really good job of just playing at his own pace.
Well, he converts from the free throw line, gives them a 4-point lead. Cheshire without E.J. Stevens tonight, but they seem to have plugged any gaps they've had this season. Nice pass, but it's broken up. Shagwar hits the deck, but he got a hand on that. Rideau backs away, calls a play. He's going to fire up the three. That's off the back of the iron.
Yeah, struggled last game from the three as well, 1 for 8.
Well, Ricky McGill walks into a triple. You cannot leave him that open.
No, he's too smooth from outside that three-point line. He's done a really good job all season long knocking those down.
Cheshire a little slow into their offense. Here's Shagwar off the mark. The other thing they do well is offensive rebounding. Rye putting the defense under pressure again, and he draws the foul. Latest score from Bristol is the Flyers 15, Caledonia 11. Of course, if the Flyers win that game, then it doesn't matter what happens here. Cheshire will be guaranteed in second place automatically. And Bristol, well, they're likely to finish in 7th, but they could still sneak up to 5th if everything falls their way this weekend. We'll keep on top of all of the action. Leicester are playing Manchester as well. That game certainly of interest to the Newcastle Eagles. A lot of permutations to shake out over the next couple of days. Here's Green, space at the top. Off the mark for three. Defoe fighting for the rebound. In the end, it falls to Rideau. Skylar White's going to let that fly. Cheshire not quite been as accurate from the three-point line as we've become accustomed to this year.
Yeah, Newcastle are pressuring him a little bit more, so they have to get it off quicker.
Taj Green tipping that one in.
And that's what he does for this team. He creates second chance opportunities. He's always in and around that rim when the shot goes up.
Rye again driving, gets it back to Rideau. Rye relocates to the corner, shot clock getting low. It's going the long way round. That looked like a push in the back from LaQuincy Rideau, and that is what is called by the referee.
Yeah, Rideau did a little too much there trying to get the offensive board as we get to see it again. Larry Ossett Jr. A little bit of acting there.
Yeah, it didn't quite look as serious from that angle as it did from the main angle.
He's a great salesman.
He's done a good job of selling it there, yeah. But there's probably enough, is what the referee would say.
He established his position in the box out.
Defoe, good pass, and Taj Green rocks the rim with the jam.
And we don't give Defoe enough credit for his ability to facilitate from the post, from the block. He has great vision, patience, and that just comes from experience.
Well, he is the most experienced player in the league, and he knows all about winning. Nice shot from the corner for Kristen.
I think once your bench players can come in and hit shots, Cheshire become really hard to play against.
Johnson driving in, he's foul. Will that go? Yes, it will, and one for Jordan Johnson.
He just finds the smallest of seams to get through, and his footwork allows him to peek through those gaps. A great job curling off of that ball screen, going past the big, past another guard, and one.
Well, that's the thing. He's not the biggest in the league, but he finds a way to get to the basket, and that was the jam from Taj Green. 4:51 on the clock. It's 13 points to 11 here at the Virtue Motors Arena. A timeout has been called. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Newcastle, where Jordan Johnson is at the free throw line looking to convert the three-point play.
Yeah, we spoke about his ability to get to the line. Before this game, he had shot 220 free throws, and he's scored 40 more than the second top in the league. The second is Aaron Rye.
It's unbelievable the amount of free throws he is able to generate. We saw that in his first spell as well in the British Basketball League when he played in Glasgow. Just a tremendous pressure on the defense all the time. Kristen, oh, he lost the ball behind his back. Larry Austin drops it off. Green, oh, rim check. But the foul is called, so he will go to the free throw line.
What a great sequence by Green there. Good job on the defensive end, and they can switch with him on that end, which means he can guard the smaller players, the guards. Good strip, and if you see him, he sprinted right through the middle, and his point guard gave him that ball to finish the play. Almost flushed it down.
Oh, a bit of frustration from Kristen as he heads to the bench. Back iron from Taj Green. Well, the one thing you would say about Cheshire is they have so many interchangeable parts. You were kind of touching on it a little earlier. obviously Rideau and Rye top of the scout report, but after that it could come from so many different options, and every week it seems to be a different one.
Yeah, I think Ethan Chagwar will be one of the X factors for them going into the playoffs. He's coming off a great game himself with 20 points, shooting 4 for 5 from the 3. So if you can have multiple players shooting at that rate, who do you stop?
Well, that has been the problem for the rest of the league this season. It's why Cheshire are the trophy champions and in second place. That one off the mark. Rebound pulled in by Whitfield. There's Larry Austin. Cheshire fans will know all about his ability to attack.
Yeah, Newcastle are known for their ability to get points off of turnovers and fast break points. They're really locked in defensively as they know this game is huge.
Well, we've seen in recent weeks Cheshire have once or twice made a slow start to a game, but more often than not they find their way back in.
An interesting fact between these two teams, the team that they've played.
There's an interested spectator, Tosin Awoma, the NBA player now, of course, started out through the Newcastle Eagles junior development program. His season is over in the NBA, so what's he going to do? He's going to come check the Eagles out, of course.
Absolutely, have to support hometown, have to support where you came from, and it's great to see him in this crowd.
And a tremendous journey for him from Newcastle all the way to the NBA, and he didn't make it initially, didn't get drafted, but he's found his way into the league.
It just shows there's no one way of doing it. He just put his head down and grinded throughout his career, and it's put him into this position. And if you're watching him, a lot of it comes from playing defense. If you play defense, you have a chance to play at the highest level.
Well, I'm sure he will have enjoyed the way the Eagles have started here this evening.
Yeah, these teams have played each other 3 times. Whoever wins the first quarter seems to win the game, so it's important on how they start.
Whitfield working with Delpesh on the pick and roll, and that came off a foot, so it'll reset the shot clock to 14.
Again, I think as we get closer to this playoffs, and we've got 3-game playoff rounds, both teams are going to need to use their bench and role players and have to get production from them. So it's good to see Whitfield out here in the first.
Here's Austin up top. Long 2 from Green, but deflected away and out of bounds. So Cheshire ball from the end. 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Newcastle leading by 4. Well, that's a long way short from Maceo Jack. You don't see that very often.
Newcastle defense just speeding up Cheshire.
Now Whitfield open in the corner, hits the 3.
And another thing speeding up is their transition.
Well, Newcastle love to get out in the open floor. They love to try and put points on the board before the defense can recover. These are the 2 best teams at turning turnovers into points as well, and the 2 best in fast break. And 2 more points inside there for Holden. Oh, Delpesh is left wide alone, and he lays it in.
Larry Austin Jr.'s pass right through the middle of those 2 defenders, getting 2 more points in the paint.
Rideau wide open for 3, off the iron. Cheshire struggling a little bit from the 3-point line, and foul is called on White.
Johnson's not happy about that one, saying maybe it could be an intentional. As he's going down, we get to see it again. That's a smart play by Skylar White. You know you're probably not going to stop him going downhill, so slow them down, force them to take the ball from the sideline and run an offense.
Well, you can see Jordan Johnson making the argument that he's not gone for the ball. He's gone enough for the ball for it to just be a regular foul. Delpesh overcooks that one. Tip doesn't go. Ulf is able to pull it down.
just capitalising off of those second chances for Newcastle.
Jack in the corner, puts it on the floor. Spacing's got a little awkward there for Cheshire. Jack backs out for 3. Over the top and out of bounds. Cheshire Phoenix 1 for 10 from 3-point range here in the first quarter.
They're sticking to what they know, and that's shoot the 3. They're number 1 in the league in terms of makes per game, but Newcastle were everywhere. They're forcing them off the line. They're anticipating passes, and they're not leaving much open.
Yeah, as you say, nobody makes or takes more 3s than Cheshire in the British Basketball League, so they're not going to go away from it. Holden looking for some action, batted away by McGill, thrown out in front for McGill to chase. Rye is back. McGill feeds it to Austin, back out to Johnson. Good ball movement, finds Whitfield up top for his second 3 of the game.
I love that offense. He just hit one in the corner, so find him again. He's a hot hand, and they did it within their offense and their movement.
It's going to be against Whitfield for the block.
Yeah, getting a little scrappy already. These guards will want to get after it and pick up the ball early.
Well, here's another look at the 3-point shot from Whitfield. And it, as you say, they move the ball to find an open shooter. There's a lot of chatter going out on court at the moment. I don't know whether Whitfield felt the ball was thrown at him or something. It was very soft from Rideau, but there's some discussion going on. One or two Newcastle fans not impressed. Rideau is always in and amongst it, isn't he? He's one of those guys, he's never backing down.
Ultimate competitor he is, and he likes to talk whilst he does it.
He certainly does. Here he is, moving it on to Jack. Jack driving hard. Ulf on the offensive glass.
Newcastle forcing Jack into a really hard layup there.
Nice spin. Aaron Wright, we've been seeing that all season.
And we will continue to see that all season.
Well, good opening quarter for the Newcastle Eagles. They lead this 1 by 8. We'll have the second period right after this break. Back to Newcastle, where the Eagles lead by 8. Meanwhile, down in Bristol, the Flyers are up by 1. What that would mean is that Cheshire finished second and Caledonia third, if it stays like this. Long way to go in both of those games.
Watch the way Jordan Johnson is guarding Maceo Jack. He's not in help side at all. He's been stuck to him on that left side the entire possession.
Well, Rideau needs to get the shot away. It does off the glass.
He's so crafty. He finds a way to score, no matter how hard the shot may look. Nice little hang there to finish with the bank.
McGill drops it toward Hibbett. Off the back iron, gets his own rebound. Well, I'm not quite sure who that was aimed at. Delpesh was the nearest possible person, but it was a long way from him.
Yeah, I think he needed to go up again with that one.
Chargois short on the 3. As a lot of Cheshire's three-point shots have been so far. Johnson blowing by the defenders all the way to the hole.
Splits the defenders, hangs in the air, does a great job of contorting his body and finishing with contact.
Well, Quincy Rideau questioning the referee on that contact, but referee McDonald not interested in the complaints of the Cheshire man. Here's Rye. Well, an orthodox shot off the glass, but what a finish.
Turnaround of 1 foot fading away.
Delpesh quickly down the other end. That's what Newcastle want to do. Even on a made score, they want to beat you down the floor. Timeout is called here. Newcastle Eagles leading this one by 8 points. And, well, from a Cheshire's point of view, I don't think they'll be too disappointed with the pace, but they just need to make a three-point shot somewhere along the line.
Yeah, once they see one go in, that's when they find their rhythm. But whilst it's not, they need to start going to crash the offensive boards, because long shots create long rebounds, which make it really hard for defense sometimes.
Here's the latest from the Matiola Arena in Leicester, where the Riders lead 26 points to 17. Evan Walsh on the free throw line. Remember, if Leicester win their 2 games this weekend, it doesn't matter what Sheffield or what Newcastle do, they will secure 4th spot and home court advantage, and they're on top at home. They still have to go to Surrey on Sunday to see it out, but they are in the driving seat. Newcastle have one more game to play, and that is tomorrow at Manchester. So back-to-back for those two teams, both playing tonight. Cheshire have one more game this weekend. That is at home on Sunday, when the what will presumably be the top 2 go head-to-head, London against Cheshire.
Yeah, what a great way to end the regular season. It just keeps everyone engaged with seedings being so tight, and this is kind of a glimpse into what we'll see in the playoffs.
Well, that'll be interesting, that London-Cheshire game on Sunday, because you sort of go, well, do they want to land a little psychological blow on each other before the playoffs, or do they want to keep something hidden? 1 and 2 seeds, so they'll be the favourites to navigate their way through the playoff system.
I think the egos will take over, and they'll want to give it everything.
Whitfield looking for a 3rd 3. That's off the mark. Right, back to Rideau. Rideau. Oh, he almost... Oh, he somehow got the ball back. Well, how's he scored that?
Just relentless there. A tough pass that didn't get through the hands of Delpesh there, but he just continued to go after the ball and had a nice little flow. He's got a really nice touch around the rim.
Top of the key is McGill, who finds the bottom of the net.
Yeah, we've seen that quite often this season, and that nice little rhythm dribble to get him into that pull-up jump shot.
Newcastle scoring freely here. 31 points in less than 13 minutes. Right, bullying his way to the basket for 2.
Yeah, just patience to step through the middle there. And both teams are now trying to get points inside of that paint.
Well, here's Johnson driving hard to the hole, ends up on the deck. 4-on-1 the other way, and Rye will finish it off. And that's going to force a timeout here for Coach Mark Stootle. He's got the sense of a little run coming here from Cheshire, and he wants to try and limit that. They've cut it back down to 4, but it is that up and down game. Both teams are more than happy in the open court, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They love getting live ball stops to push it down offensively. And as you see, a little bit of everything here with Cheshire. Kristen getting involved, Macy Jack. We've got 8 points for Rideau and 10 for Rye, who's getting it done inside of that paint. But as you said, the pace is right for both of them. And they generate it because Cheshire have #1 in steals per game in the Quincy Rideau, and Newcastle are #2 with Ricky McGill in steals per game.
Well, here's the latest from Bristol. Second chance points, you can see the graphic there. That's typical Bristol, crashing the offensive glass, and that is why they lead by a couple of points going towards halftime in that one. We will keep you on top of that. Both the other 2 games should finish before ours, so we should have an idea of how the playoff picture shakes down going into the last 2 days of the season. And we saw the Cheshire scoring at the start of the timeout. Pretty spread for Newcastle as well.
Yeah, and I think we spoke about this. You need depth in 3-game playoff rounds. You need depth, and you need other players to step up, because that allows your main guys to be able to find a rhythm without doing too much. So really good balance of scoring there for both teams.
Well, Eagles lead was as many as 10, is now just 4.
Yeah, they've come up on points in the paint with both teams on 18 now.
A lot of that points in the paint is actually in transition, isn't it? That's
Absolutely.
the way they get to the rim. You don't see a lot of post play. Here's Nebu, loves a 3-point shot. That one is short. Rideau inside to Ulf, who tosses it in.
Yeah, Newcastle sticking with their plan to but give up some 2s instead of 3-point shots.
Well, there's a 3 from Josh Ward-Hibbert. And obviously they've missed him the last couple of weeks. I'll be pleased to say, oh, he's almost got a steal as well. And you can see Quincy Rideau arguing there was a foul there. He's got to be careful. There's been a lot of conversation from the Cheshire point guard through the first 14 minutes. And referees will have a little bit with you, but eventually they'll say enough is enough. Kristen, short on the 3, tipped out by Johnson to McGill. McGill, it's come off the feet. McGill keeps possession. Johnson fakes the 3, behind the back pass. Oh, Delpesh with the finish through the foul. He says he's too small for me. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
That was a big boy finish right there, but you have to talk about how it got to Delpesh. You have to respect Jordan Johnson from deep beyond the 3-point line. He drives past, lovely behind the back, and what a finish.
Well, Delpesh just would not be denied. Wolf won't want to see that replay, but I fancy it'll be all over social media pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's today's era, right?
Yeah, exactly. Newcastle's lead back to 8. Wolf is left alone underneath, and he gets 2 back himself.
Yeah, Newcastle is saying someone else has to beat us. Right now, they're okay with Ulf racking up some points if they're keeping everyone else quite quiet.
McGill step back for 3, front iron. Kristen looking for room along the baseline. Neighbor got a hand on him.
good job exploiting that mismatch, understanding his foot speed is quicker than Will Neighbour, so just going right at him along the baseline.
Taj Green will return. So Delpesh sits down, which presumably moves Will Neighbour to the 5 spot. There's nice off the curl from Jack.
Yeah, lovely shot there. And yeah, both teams are playing quite small ball here.
I can't think too many times where Will Neighbour is in the centre position. When you say small ball, it's obviously all context with basketball players, but just explain that for the new uninitiated.
Yeah, of course. So you see it more often, having more guard-like players play the post positions, and they just spread everyone out without having a bigger post who may be slower to run down the floor or slower defensively when you're trying to match up with each other.
Well, Will Neighbour is a big man in physical stature, but he plays the game more as a shooter than put back to the basket. Timeout is called here in Newcastle. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Newcastle. Let's get an update from Leicester, where Manchester have taken the lead there, 28 points to 30. Leicester without their captain, Kimball McKenzie, in that game. And that is a game that, well, Leicester quite simply have to win. Newcastle will be pleased to hear they're behind.
Manchester just trying to play puppet master and changing up these seedings and making it hard for the likes of Leicester to boost up their spot.
Well, they've got the chance as well, because they play Newcastle tomorrow to impact on both of them. And a long time since Manchester have won a game, though. You have to go back to December. So they'll know there is a long way still to go in this contest. Here's Austin. Up to Green. Lob back to McGill. McGill at the end of the shot clock gets it away, and both able to hang on to that one.
Good defensive possession there by Cheshire, forcing a tough pull-up three to end the shot clock.
Rye draws all the defense and then finds the open Rideau out on the three-point line.
Yeah, he'll be happy to see that one go in. Not the best three-point shooter, but he's had quite a few games where he's shot the ball well. Not so much last game in his triple-double, so he'll really like to see that one go in.
Well, it's their first lead since the opening exchanges of this contest. They've been down by as many as 10, but you can see 3 black shirts around Rye, and they lost Rideau as a result of it.
Rye's been doing a great job of getting finishes inside, which means Newcastle are now worried about his production and have to go and double and help and leaving people out on the perimeter.
McGill, nice pass to Delpesh, but great work from Kristen to strip it away from him. Ryan transition through the middle, Jack in the corner, rims out. Green, can he keep it in play? No, he can't. That will be a Cheshire ball.
Yeah, Cheshire will be happy with that possession though. Got exactly what they wanted, creating an advantage in the fast break and found their shooter in Maceo Jack, who's #1 in three-point makes this season.
Oh yeah, those are the ones that you almost automatically assume are going in. Didn't on that occasion. Right, and a slap round the back from Austin, but they were always scrambling. Once the ball came out of the double team, the defense was chasing.
Absolutely, and when you have a player like Rai, who has such a high IQ, understands decision making in the game, that's all he needs is a slight advantage to go and attack.
Foul called there on Whitfield. He just got underneath Rideau.
Yeah, really good handles by Rideau to be able to control the ball, with Whitfield jumping out like that after the ball screen and causing a foul.
Another missed three for Cheshire Phoenix. They've missed 13 now in the first half. Back out to Whitfield. Green in the low block, hooks it in.
Lovely job there, and hardly anyone dribbled that ball. It whipped around.
That's kind of been Newcastle's problem as well there. Transition defense suboptimal on what was a good score.
Yeah, fouling is a huge thing for Newcastle. They actually fouled Surrey a lot, and they got to the free throw line 32 times, converting 24 of them, and that was a big part of why they lost that game.
Certainly was. Bristol up 3 at halftime down at the Wise. Remember, irrespective of what happens here, if that one finishes in a Flyers win, then Cheshire are mathematically guaranteed second place.
Kristen done a good job of coming in and hitting free throws all season at a high rate. Been able to shoot just under 85%. And as we get deeper into the playoffs, free throws are going to become a big, impactful part.
Well, he's perfect on 4 attempts today. Johnson. A little too hot for Green to hang on to. Green. Awkward spot, gets it away. Shot clock is low. Johnson drives, gets around Wright, but can't finish. Wright with the rebound. And nice pass out in front, and the jam from Kristen for 2. It was just a little change in the emphasis of defense. It just made it a little bit more difficult there. That's given them the run-out points.
It's also about shot selection for both teams. If you take bad shots, the other team are going to capitalize it in transition. That was a great defensive possession by Cheshire, who were able to just go off to the races after the missed layup.
Well, 2 minutes to go here in the first half, and Newcastle, who led by as many as 10, now find themselves 3 points behind against the Cheshire Phoenix. This is the latest from Leicester. Manchester still in front by 3 points. William Lee, the former rider there, getting his own rebound and putting it back in to punish his old team. Well, Leicester have the destiny of 4th place in their hands, but not if they don't win.
Yeah, if William Lee plays like that, Manchester have a chance to win the game. Seems like Coach Strudel wants to put Newcastle in multiple actions for Cheshire to defend, making it a lot harder when you go from one screen to another. it's really hard because a ball screen, you have to do some kind of coverage, and then there's other actions going on. The rotations have to be perfect.
Well, Austin has it. Kick to Green. Green's pass wasn't a great one, but it did get to Whitfield. He's short on the 3. Austin with the offensive rebound.
There's a man that gets a lot more offensive rebounds than he should.
He's always in and around. Delpesh slightly further out on the hook than he might have liked. Jack, well, you could tell from his reaction he knew that was short. That one ricocheted off Maceo Jack and out of bounds.
Yeah, gotten a little sloppy for both teams here. It's interesting, both teams playing against each other average the most turnovers than against any other team. Just shows how scrappy they both want to play, defensively getting after each other, and offensively they're sped up, which means they're going to make more mistakes.
Well, Green underneath jams it in.
Yeah, not a mistake there on that finish. Great job by Green, and that's what he brings every game.
Rideau in an awkward spot, gets it back from White. Rideau gets his body into Green, who commits the foul, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
Exactly that. He got his body into the bigger player. Once you do that, all they can do is go backwards, and it makes it hard for a shot blocker like Taj Green to get a touch on the ball, as he's always going towards the baseline. Good body control, lovely finish by LaQuincy Rideau.
Well, he doesn't shy away from the contact either, Rideau. He seems to enjoy the physical side of the game.
Absolutely, that's what he thrives off of. Newcastle forcing him to play.
Well, he gets his own rebound off a missed free throw. Newcastle must have thought there were 2 shots there.
How does that happen?
Unbelievable. Well, they've recovered with a steal, and they might get a run out instead. Oh, Josh Ward-Hibbert kind of got his feet mixed up there, misses the layup.
Yes.
And, well, turnovers at both ends of the floor.
Started his steps a little too far out, but he might be a bit rusty, missing a couple of games. But Josh Ward-Hibbert brings a lot to this team. Not a great timing of his steps there, just having to extend a bit too much. But he's on this court for a reason. And that reason is he does all the little things right. He crashes the offensive board, he finishes shots he needs to, and he plays really tough defense.
Well, 30 seconds to play here in the first half. Cheshire up by 3. Rideau has the switch, and that came off him last. So Delpesh winning that battle when Rideau thought he had a mismatch.
Yeah, Newcastle know how great Rideau is at facilitating for his teammates. You can tell the players off of the ball are hugging their teammates a little bit more, forcing the ball handler to have to play more one-on-one rather than move the ball around.
Well, Newcastle ticking it down for the final shot of this quarter. Cheshire have got fouls to give.
Yeah, I don't mind that foul, disrupting that last possession for Newcastle, forcing them having to start again.
Well, Manchester, look at this, up by 8 in Leicester, 38-46 with a minute to go to halftime. And that will be a result that would be welcomed certainly in Sheffield, maybe in Newcastle as well if they can turn it round. And Johnson trying to force that into a 3-point shot, and the referees are going to have a conversation as to whether he was shooting. Johnson's gone to the line to say, I am shooting 3, and it is going to be 3 free throws for Jordan Johnson.
Good confidence there, just walking to the line, knowing he was about to get 3 there, but that's not what you want if you're Aaron Ryan, Cheshire Phoenix, to finish this half.
Well, you can see he baited him into a foul.
Yeah, really smart play.
and a chance to level the scores. That's one thing you know, if they've got fouls to give, you're thinking they're going to use those fouls, so let's try and get that shot up.
Yeah, and of course it's Jordan Johnson who lives on the free throw line.
And Johnson makes them all and will tie the scores. Cheshire are going to call a timeout here to try and draw something up with 3.9 seconds remaining in this first half to try and give themselves a lead going into the locker room.
Just under 4 seconds, which is plenty of time for this team, especially a team that like the three-point shot and have such quick guards in the like of Mesa Jack and LaQuincy Rideau.
Well, he's drawn it up really quick there, Ben Thomas. Didn't need the full minute. He sent his 5 back out there. Flag wavers are still on the court.
Yeah, they seemed really confident about knowing their play. Maybe there's something they've already gone to before in games, and really they just know they need to get a look off before the end of this half, before the buzzer, and they'll be looking for the most open and the easiest one.
Well, they're enjoying themselves here at the Virtue Motors Arena, that's for sure.
Yeah, this arena doesn't disappoint in terms of crowd and fans, always packed and full for every home game. And it's surprising Newcastle a little bit worse at home than away this season.
Yeah, it is an odd one. As you say, it's a good atmosphere. Oh, just some query at the table. I think it's been sorted. Thumbs up from Chris Dodds, and we can get back underway. It's quickly back to Rideau. Rideau pushing, Rideau going coast to coast. And that's why it was... Oh, is there a foul? Is there a foul? I think there is a foul. That was why it was quick to draw up. It was just one straight line down the middle.
I was wondering how they got it so fast.
It's a goaltend. It's a goaltend for a pull of the rim. The basket is good. It's not a foul. It's a goaltend. And that too will count for LaQuincy Rideau. Let's have another look at it. He drives straight in. And yeah, there's a pull of the net there from Delpesh, interfering with the basket. So that is 2 points for LaQuincy Rideau. No foul. So that will do it for the first half, and the Cheshire Phoenix make their way to the locker rooms here. It's a tight one in Newcastle. We'll break it down after this break. Welcome back to our coverage of the British Basketball League. A 2-point game in Newcastle. Eagles at times had a chance to pull away, but Cheshire managing to reel them back in.
Yeah, they have, and they've done it from inside the three-point line, which is a little bit different for them. Been able to get enough stops on the defensive end to push the ball, and Aaron Wright's been involved in a lot of different actions.
Let's have a look at the numbers from that first half. And yes, the 3-point shooting and the 2-point shooting really for Cheshire leaping off the page.
Yeah, 2 for 15 is unlikely for them, but they're getting threes, and it is quicker to get off because of Newcastle defense, but inside they're dominating at 80%. On the other end, Newcastle did a good job with 22 rebounds, 8 offensively, but only 4 second chance points, and not capitalizing off that enough.
Well, you want to get at least a point, an offensive rebound, really. Let's have a look back at the story of the first half here in Newcastle, and it was very much the Eagles on top in the early stages, but when Cheshire had scored, this is why they're 80% from 2-point range. It's been all right at the basket.
Yeah, absolutely, right around that rim with not much protection, and Newcastle right there hitting the three. Lovely job, lovely cut by Taj Green, pass by Darius Defoe, who's been there, done that at every level.
And Cheshire thought their defense got better as the half went on.
It did, and they need to understand that it generates their offense. As you see there, big Ethan Chagwa now to push the ball in transition. When they get stops and live ball turnovers, they're able to create a lot more from the advantages.
Newcastle Eagles themselves want to try and get, in fact, one of the stats we didn't talk about, you mentioned it in commentary, the turnover has been pretty low in the first half, so there haven't been as much live ball transition as these two teams would like.
Yeah, they've learned from previous mistakes. They've learned from playing each other 3 times previously. One thing for Newcastle is when they win games, they actually average the most free throw attempts in the league. They're less than Cheshire right now, and they're 6 for 7, a high percentage, but I expect them to get to the free throw line a bit more.
They'll be trying to do that for sure in the second half. Well, in a moment, we've got the top 10 plays from last week, but first, highlights from last night's game between London and Surrey.
Big dunk coming as Connor Morgan breaks down the lane and throws it home. Over to Morgan on the corner, nice head fake, and a lane opens up. Oh, mercy.
Mohammed lights it up. He's feeling good. He's hit 2 now, isn't he?
Cholo Vincent's going to get his first shot.
Hey!
And buries it. Beautiful pass from the big man. Connor Morgan this time. And that's called continuation. Matt Morgan all-star style. Deep range 3 coming from Connor Morgan. David Mwaba cuts through the offense and absolutely freezes the defense with that look away. Muhammad had a hot hand earlier, and he continues to have a hot hand. They need that 3 in a big-time way now with 2:50 to play in the first half. Nice step back there, and Andrew Lawrence buries it. Good help defense there. Connor Morgan, head up. Matt Morgan leaves it flying, and it dunks it in. Tariq Phillip as Morgan with a beautiful dish to the high-flying Tariq Phillip. Surrey has to make some kind of run.
Yeah, I think that's so important, and why not?
Cooper on the money. Sam can show the youngster he's still got some moves in those University of Wisconsin legs. Yes, he does! That one taken away, pocket pick by Kareem Queeley, and Kareem Queeley gets it on the dunk party.
Particular numbers and good grown man move also. Andrew Lawrence.
Chuloviscus up and under, his shot blocked away by Sharma. And the ball is left, and the youngster back-to-back buckets. Well, the London Lions get the victory after trailing 6-0 early, and the game ends up a 97-85. So they have beaten the Surrey Scorchers 4 times this year by an average of 12 points a game.
Austin drops it off to Defoe, who gets up for the throwdown.
Wow! 38 years young and still running the floor and dunking it.
Lobbed up to Jameson, who jams it in.
Wow! Easy as they come. Faking the screen action. Nichols has a one-on-one with Jaguar here. Trying to find some room, then nice cut back door there. And that's warm and welcome in Sheffield. Jalen Pipkins back in form, reversal.
Nice pass. Oh, what a block!
My gosh!
Incredible. And London turning defense into offense as Morgan lays it up and in.
We thought Wiley's blocks were good. That is awesome by Sandy.
Johnson driving in, bump foul. Oh, what a finish! Katie Johnson flexes the muscles. A tremendous finish. Nice follow and jammed in. There's Johnson again. A word or two for the Eagles defenders.
Jalen Pipkins attacking the baseline. Take off. Kaboom!
Cock that one back and put an exclamation mark on it.
That one's passed straight to Lewis. Oh, volleyball spike from Johnson chasing it back.
Katie Johnson. Oh my goodness, out of nowhere, Cam Copeland coming up with one of the plays of the week, sticking one on Oscar Baldwin.
Well, there you go. They've got lots of motivation.
Just trying to get something going.
Oh my
got
goodness.
a three-quarter court heave. Well, that's got them on their feet here. And here's Jacob from just inside the halfway line on the third quarter buzzer. What a way to end the period. Hi, Tozan, it's Daniel in the studio. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got you.
Excellent. Can you...
Was that quiet the first time?
That's a bit... Can you... I seem to be...
Yeah, there you go.
There we go, that's better.
Got it.
We're just on a break at the moment, and as soon as we come back, we'll start the interview then, if that's okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome back to our coverage of the British Basketball League. We're delighted to be joined now by Tosin Owomo. Tosin, great to have you with us. First of all, congratulations on making it to the NBA. Talk to us about how that felt actually getting into the league this season.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was amazing, obviously. You know, living the dream, dream come true. So, you know, no complaints. Yeah, great feeling. Great to be able to, you know, break in this season.
And obviously, it's a long way from Newcastle to Detroit. Tell us a little bit about your journey here from the Northeast.
Yeah, you know, obviously started playing here. You know, came through the Newcastle Eagles program. Like you said, a long way away, but these guys are always supporting from afar, and you know, it's good to get back to a game when I can.
Quick question, not a traditional route to the NBA. Just talk to those kids that might be watching on it, you can do it in your own way and still be successful.
Yeah, 100%. You know, everyone's path is different. This guy, you know, I'm not the only, there's, you know, other guys in the NBA, obviously, that didn't take the traditional route. So, you know, anyway you can kind of make it happen. You just got to believe and, you know, obviously put the work in. But, yeah, you know, it's always possible.
And when you were a young kid starting out with the Eagles, did you actually believe that you could take it all the way to the top level?
No, I mean, it wasn't really, you know, the goal or even a thought. You know, when I first started playing, it was always just an enjoyment thing for me, and it got more serious as, you know, I started playing more and I got better, and yeah, so I would be lying if I said yes.
And obviously you finished the season with the Detroit Pistons, hoping to stick in the league for next year. What are your thoughts about next season? Yeah, still,
you know, sign with them until next season at least. So yeah, it'll be good to be back. Good to get back this summer. Have a big off season coming up. Obviously my first one. But looking forward to this summer. Looking forward to, you know, the season starting again.
And game just getting underway behind you. What are you made of the first half in these Newcastle Eagles?
Yeah, it was fun. You know, the game's obviously close. Hopefully they can, you know, pull it out. You know, in the end here. But yeah, there's been, you know, a few runs back and forth. You know, hopefully we come out on top.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Enjoy the second half.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's an excellent story to see a journey from Newcastle all the way to the NBA. He really is a role model, as you said, for the young kids looking to take that path.
Absolutely, and he's done it with such integrity, and he's so humble as he's talking about the NBA, the highest level in the world in this sport, and just talking about how he's still working hard, how he's excited for the off-season to get better and to be around that group for a longer time.
Well, that is what you hear about him. He's such a hard-working young man and deserves everything that he has got. And it's a credit to him and his family, and of course to the Newcastle Eagles who started him out on that path. But not every day you see a superstar like that in the building, and you can see the young children wanting a quick selfie if they can. Back to the action now. Minute into the third quarter. Newcastle regaining the lead, up by 2. Aaron Rye to the rim, can't convert for once.
Yeah, Taj Green did a great job of coming and helping Defoe on that one and just disrupting the finish of Rye. You're gonna need to double him if you want to slow him down inside.
Green with a mid-range, that's one of those it has to go in shots because there's no offensive rebounding. Rye relocates for 3, and likewise not much in the way of offensive rebounding from the Knicks. They're normally very good at that. Johnson head down to the rim, crowded out of it. Austin for 3, and he hits.
Yeah, it doesn't hit many, but he hit that one, and he looked confident doing it. Jordan Johnson, his ability just to change speed and stop like that after going so fast, and Defoe finding the extra one more. Good ball movement there.
Chagua in the corner, late closeout, too late, and he knocks down the triple.
Yeah, he's been on a roll from the three-point line recently, and in the perfect time coming towards the end of this regular season. Talk about him being an X-factor for Cheshire for the rest of this year.
Well, obviously he missed the trophy run with that injury he suffered in the group stages.
He had a big game last game. I think he had a game-winning rebound almost to really take the win in Sheffield last game. So he has his big moments for this Cheshire team.
Larry Austin coming back to haunt his old team here in the third quarter, driving Newcastle with all of their points. Poked away, and McGill's going to get 2 on the board as well, and a perfect start for the Newcastle Eagles, out to a 7-point lead, scoring 12 of the first 15 and forcing Cheshire into a timeout.
Just defense leads to offense. Good run out by McGill there, and if they play this way, they'll be able to finish Cheshire off in this game. And Newcastle know how big this one is in terms of their seeding. They want home court advantage in the playoffs. As you hear the crowd right now enjoying this close one.
Well, they need some help, but they are currently getting some help. Look at this score: Leicester 44, Manchester 57 right now. Session Russell on the free throw line trying to chip away at it. Leicester without Kimball McKenzie and really struggling. I mean, you normally think of Leicester, particularly in that building, able to score freely, but they've only got 45. They've given up 57. Is there a way back into it? That will really put a massive dent in Leicester's hopes of finishing 4th if they can't win that one. And, well, Nick Lewis adding to the agony with 3, and Manchester, who haven't won since December, are up 15.
Yeah, it's just, can they maintain this? But you talk about McKenzie, it just shows how valuable he is for that Leicester team. You can never rule out Leicester, though, especially in playoff time. So they want to be able to get it right in just the right moment.
Well, that will be a result that is cheered here in Sheffield as well. Maybe even Bristol might benefit from that. White off the mark.
Yeah, only his second three-point attempt of the game. He's not been able to touch the ball very often from beyond the arc.
Well, he doesn't normally need a lot of time once he does touch the ball to get those shots up.
Yeah, there's not many shots he doesn't like.
Exactly. Here's Green going to work, and the foul is called.
I like that move by Green. He was thinking about the spin and kind of saw Skylar White behind him. So instead had that little hesitation and stayed going middle to draw the foul.
Well, here's another look at it. There's been some complaints here. You can see them. They were arguing about maybe a little hook there from Green. And I think referee McDonald has said, right, that's enough now. Any more chatter will be a technical foul. There's been a lot of conversations going on today.
Yeah, I think this game's going to stay pretty close, so the refs just want to make sure they control the game. Don't let it get too out of hand or too competitive, and a good way of doing that is just to let players know, okay, that's enough. You've said your piece. I'm not changing my call, so just be careful.
Well, Green pushes Newcastle back out to a 9-point lead. They led by as many as 10 in the first half, and they've started this second half in great form, although Rideau gets all the way to the rim.
That was a hard screen by Skylar White, and you can't really help off of him because he'll pop for the 3. Rideau did a great job going left and just finishing down the lane.
Johnson, mid-range to Foe, back iron, rebound right. Green trying to sneak up behind. Aaron Rye gets called for the foul.
Yeah, that got him fired up a little bit. Right idea, it's just a little too handsy there. You have to be careful from poking the ball behind because the refs are likely going to call that if there's any contact off of that ball.
White with the pick and pop, short on the 3. Skylar White still to get on the scoreboard today. He's only taken 3 shots, that's knocked away. McGill's able to keep it alive for Newcastle. Green left all on his own. Misses the 3, and that one hits the shot clock and out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought LaQuincy Rideau did a good job of playing 2, which meant he split between Taj Green and that corner player, and just made Taj Green hesitate by stunting, by stepping towards him on that catch, which got him off of rhythm for that 3-point shot.
Rideau barreling his way to the rim. He's fouled and he will shoot 2 free throws. Well, Quincy Rideau became the first player in 6 years to have 2 triple-doubles in the same season when he did it last week. And he's not a million miles, needs a few more rebounds, but he's not a million miles off being on pace for another one.
Yeah, he gets it done in so many different ways on the stat sheet. And like you said, there's plenty of time to reach that triple-double, which is 3 in 1 season would just be incredible.
Well, nobody's done it in the last 16 years. 3. There's been a couple of guys who've done 2. Dante Nicholas, who played for Plymouth. Aaron Hardy, a former Leicester player, did it, I think it was twice in 2 weeks. One of them was against Newcastle.
Wow.
Batted up in the air and out to Rideau. Shagwa can't convert. Well, Austin tried the no-look, but actually just threw it straight into the grateful hands of Holden. It's almost stolen back. Ricochet goes out off White. And a sloppy bit of play at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, it's hard when you've got such scrappy guards all around you. And both teams are really athletic and they're able to anticipate what you're trying to do and make reads. Lots of tips from passes in those last couple of possessions.
Well, not his best night of the British Basketball League season. I think that's fair to say as he sits down. Skylar White. Spin from Austin, tipped out of bounds. And did that touch Austin before it hit the, because Austin is out of bounds, so if the ball touches him while he's out of bounds before it hits anything else, you can see the frustration from White. The referees are going to overrule that and give it back to the Phoenix. It's one of those tricky ones where all your instinct says that's going to be the other way, but because it hits him before it hits the basket, it is a Cheshire ball.
Yeah, you could tell he knew it touched him as he was kind of walking backwards to start playing defense.
Rideau doesn't get the bounce. Foul is called on the rebound. Oh, this one, a 6-point game midway through the 3rd quarter here in Newcastle. Timeout is called on the floor. We're going to take a break as well. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Newcastle, and also an eye on Leicester, who are still trailing Manchester by double figures with just under 14 minutes to go. And that one will mean Leicester no longer hold 4th place in their hands if they cannot find a way back into that game, and it keeps the opportunity open for Newcastle, but it really opens the door for Sheffield. Sheffield would be the main benefactors if Leicester lose, because the head-to-head, Leicester have it over both Sheffield and Newcastle, so only need to finish level with those two teams. Sheffield have the head-to-head over Newcastle.
At some points in the season, it seemed really straightforward, and then the likes of Bristol come out and start playing. They're 4-1 in the last 5 games. Caledonia, again, have been really consistent. Sheffield have come back in it. Leicester always in and around the mix. So really exciting and coming to the last game of the regular season to decide it.
Well, as it stands, it would be Sheffield who controlled the destiny of 4th. They would just need to win their last home game.
And they're great at home.
And they're playing Plymouth as well, who are, well, ready for the end of the season, I think it's fair to say. Here is Austin. Out to Johnson for 3. And he strings the triple. Newcastle have their biggest lead of the game.
He hadn't shot a 3 in this game until then. And the first one, he just splashes it. Way too much time for Jordan Johnson there.
Holden kicks out to Kristen in the corner, can't reply, but Shogwa with the offensive rebound, knocked away from McGill, who can't believe the possession's gone against him.
Again, everything happened with some speed. Good job by Larry Austin, just waiting there for that switch off. Confusion with the trail, the slow run down by Johnson, and just knocks it down.
10 points for Jordan Johnson so far. Ulf under pressure. Oh, that came off the foot apparently of Defoe, which he's getting explained to him. So that will go back to Cheshire. Quizzical look, I think, from Darius Defoe there.
Yeah, he's like, I did my job on defense. Don't make me play again.
Right. Defoe doing his job on defense again, forcing the pass out. Rideau with the miss. Rebound for Rye. Stolen away, but he was out of bounds when he did it, Jordan Johnson. So that will be possession to Cheshire.
Newcastle almost getting stops in these last possessions, just can't finish them off, and giving another chance to Cheshire to closing up this margin.
Rideau, he's going to take the 3 and he's going to knock it down.
He's been confident from the 3 in this back half of the season, and he's continuing to shoot them.
Yeah, early in the year you would have thought that was the thing you'd want to do, give him the 3, but as you say, last couple of months he's been hitting it down with enough regularity to keep the defense honest.
Yeah, now 32% on the year.
Ricky McGill with the long 2.
That's a guy we're used to shooting a little bit more.
That's going to be an offensive foul, drop of the shoulder for LaQuincy Rideau, his 3rd personal foul.
Yeah, McGill hits a shot on one end and plays defense and takes the charge on the other, and those are big plays that win you games.
Well, he makes his way to the bench, much to the appreciation of the Newcastle fans. Happy to see him sit down. Whitfield needs an outlet. Josh Ward-Hibbett provides it. I couldn't get between the defenders there, McGill, but ball ricochets out of bounds, and it will be a Newcastle possession.
Yeah, good hustle, trying to dive on that ball to get that steal, but the guard play has just been elite, both offensively and defensively in this game. Just shows the level of players we have in this league.
Well, Ben Thomas thought that might have gone the other way. Only 10 on the shot clock, so Newcastle have to work relatively quickly. Here's McGill, top of the key, and he's starting to warm up now.
Once he hits one mid-range, it's just money. And he does a great job of making shots and being productive. Number 2 in field goals made this season in the entire league.
Holden, did he get caught? Yes, he did. And he's going to shoot 3 free throws. It's a sloppy foul, really.
Yeah, I think the rhythm of his shot kind of disrupted Ricky McGill there. Looked like he was going up a little bit faster, but hitched on the shot, which made McGill come later.
Well, here is the latest from Bristol. Caledonia up 7, so mathematically, Caledonia is still in with a shot of second place. They'll need about a 70 or 80 point win for London against Cheshire, but you never know. And Leicester still struggling here, down by 12, although that looks like it's an unsportsmanlike foul, so maybe a chance to cut into it. Law can't make the free throw. So this is looking like the race for second will at least mathematically go to the final day of the season. The race for fourth will probably not, and the race for the other positions will go down to the end, but it looks like if Leicester can't come back from that, they're the ones that are slipping down. They could drop all the way to 7th, and of course that would in all likelihood mean they'll play Cheshire.
That's a tough first round for Leicester, who in previous years have had teams that can be down quite a lot and can bring the score back and win games. I don't know if they have that roster this year, so they're going to have to keep the margin close, especially going into this fourth quarter against Manchester.
Well, they have the offense. The question is whether they have the defense. They've given up 20 plus in every quarter as McGill drives to the rim.
Another 2 points for McGill. He's getting it done in the mid-range from the 3 and inside. Such a hard player to guard.
12 points now, the advantage. And there's a foul by Whitfield underneath, just holding on to Ulf to prevent him catching that pass. McGill, Johnson, Green, and Austin all in double figures for the Newcastle Eagles here. Good spread.
And that's how they will win games, is having multiple players produce and be efficient in that. Not the most efficient scoring team on Newcastle, but when you have multiple players that are punishing defense, you become a lot harder to play.
Kristen backs out. He's got Delpesh in front of him. He blows right past him. And is that an offensive foul? Referees are all looking at each other as to which way they're going to call that. It's a blocking foul on Larry Austin, so it'll be 2 free throws. It was one of them where the referee signaled 1 to the table, and I was thinking they were both number 1. Which way is that going to go?
I'm glad we fixed the confusion, but that was tough. Was moving still slightly to try and cut off that drive, and Kristen did a good job recognizing he had the mismatch against the slower Delpesh and was able to drive to the bucket and get fouled.
Kristen at the free throw line. He's into double figures now. 10 points for him off the bench.
He's done a really good job. He came in early and was able to have an impact on this game for Cheshire, and it just allows their starters, who are relied heavily plus 30 minutes a game, to get some breaks so that they can come in and be more active.
1:20 to go here in the third quarter. Austin sits down. Johnson has returned. 10-point Newcastle advantage. Delpesh in the middle, and hands across the arm for Kristen. It will be number 1 White this time.
Yeah, the ball was on a string there for Johnson, being able to whip that pass in the middle. And it just seems Cheshire a little bit more reactive defensively. They're not forcing Newcastle into anything. They're just reading what they're doing. And Newcastle are creating a lot of advantages through the pass, yes. As you see again, might felt that was Ricky McGill with that lovely little hook pass. But they're punishing Cheshire in one-on-one, and when they help, they create advantages. And they're executing really well.
Well, Delpesh going 1 for 2. Rye back out to Holden. Around the screen from Ulf, so he has Delpesh in front of him. He's going to look to attack. Rye in the corner. In and out, rebound Whitfield.
Good shot by Cheshire. Ulf had a lovely screen to get Rye open there, and that's what you want, apart from not knocking it down.
McGill front iron. Rye gets his hands on the loose ball. Kicks it out in front. Foul and one. Great finish from Kristen through the contact. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
Again, he can hear us, I think, continuing to have a really great game for them right now. Double-digit points already in this third quarter for him. And that's how Cheshire will get back in this game, is pushing the ball in the fast break, especially when the threes aren't knocking down as you're used to. Perfect from the line tonight.
7 of 7. Johnson drives, kicks. Whitfield relocates for 3. Rye boxing out Ward Hibbett, but Delpesh keeps it alive. Newcastle going to take some seconds off. That allows the defense to move a little bit. Here's Johnson for 3 off the mark. Kristen with the rebound. Foul called off the ball as Johnson bumped the man to the ground. The question is whether that's a regular foul or an unsportsmanlike foul. I think it'll just be a regular one. Yeah, it is just a push. But it's another 2 free throws.
Exactly, another 2 easy ones at the end of a quarter. Yeah, a light push there by Johnson, but Christian's running at a fast pace, and that's another end of quarter mistake by Newcastle, which Cheshire will capitalize. You can't give them easy points, especially being a three-point shooting team who haven't shot it well yet. They've got a whole fourth quarter to get back into it.
Well, Leicester have got it down to 7 there with the ball. Is there a way back into them, in for them? Well, they've got to find something. They cannot lose this game if they want to finish in the top 4. Turnovers like that don't help, although they have kept possession.
Yeah, forcing the ball out of Teddy Allen's hands is always a good plan, and they seem to be executing their rotations really well.
0 for 2, Ward Hibbett with the rebound, and that's a foul on Ulf, and that's another rather needless foul because it's 2 free throws.
Yeah, don't need that at the end of the third, especially going down. 2 seconds to go. They have a whole full court to get to. In that time. Yeah, sloppy mistake there.
Well, did I mention that was Johnson's 4th foul, by the way? I thought it. I don't know if I said it out loud. Did I say it out loud? Jordan Johnson has gone to the bench on his 4th foul. Austin will go to the free throw line. There's just a little delay at the table before they do that. As Ben Thomas thinks about what he's going to do in this third quarter break for his team.
Especially with Johnson on the bench with 4, they'll have to come up with other ways to create good looks for their team. It helps when you have multiple guards in Larry Austin Jr., Ricky McGill. Josh Ward Hibbett can play any position on the floor, so they're able to generate enough.
Well, Delpesh trying to turn it into a reverse 3-point play, tips it home, says he's too small, and Newcastle will have a cushion going into the fourth quarter. They have an 11-point lead. We'll have the last 10 minutes right after this break. Welcome back to Newcastle, where the Eagles lead by 11. Meanwhile, down in Bristol, the Flyers trail by 6. Still a free throw to come there from Jacob. And of course, a Caledonia win and a Cheshire defeat keeps alive the at least theoretical chance that Caledonia could come second. As I said, it would need a massive London win on Sunday. Oh, what a block! Whitfield with the denial.
Raised right up there. Good timing to just swat that away.
Cheshire ball from the end. Right to inbound.
Cheshire still low percentage from 3 tonight, 16%, 4 for 25. They'll need to start making them from beyond the arc if they want to get back into this game.
Well, I guess if you're going to have a game where you shoot in the teens, you do it the week before the playoffs rather than in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Get them out now.
Yeah, let's take a look at the latest from Leicester. They've got it down to 6, the Riders. There's still 6 minutes to go. Lawle on the free throw line, looking to chip it down a little bit more, but work to be done. Well, every time we go to them, they miss a free throw, Leicester. They're normally pretty decent at the line.
Commentator curse.
Yeah, it is. I mean, how can we do that from all the way up here? That's the question. Well, Newcastle stretching their advantage. Travelling violation caught on hold and moving the feet before he got the ball down.
Yeah, controlled closeout by Josh Ward-Hibbett there, making Christian have to think about what he wanted to do on that catch.
Austin. McGill at the elbow, short. Delpesh in the right place. Can't finish from close range, though. He does keep it alive.
Delpesh has been big for this Newcastle Eagles team tonight.
Oh, nice play from McGill, splitting through the defense to the rim.
Lovely handles. Have to shout out Delpesh for a great screen to create that space, but what a move by Ricky McGill.
Shagwa has the size mismatch and takes full advantage of it.
Yeah, easy one for him and a good job finding him inside with that smaller defender on him.
Well, Austin hit the deck at the other end, and the referee has stopped the game now because he's a little slow to recover. Whether he caught one in the mouth is what it looked like his reaction was suggesting. And he's okay to continue.
Good to see him back up and moving again. He's a tough one. We talked about how scrappy he is with the offensive rebounds. He's used to being amongst all the contact.
Everything but the finish there for Ricky McGill. It just wouldn't drop for him, but he will go to the line for 2.
These guards on both teams are able to draw a lot of fouls through their quickness, their first step of getting ahead of the defender and just forcing them to have to do too much.
Well, this will match Newcastle's biggest lead of the game if this free throw goes in. And it is back to 15. And there's a little coming together between Holden and Ward-Hibbett, which referee McDonald is right on top of. Fry is fouled by Delpesh. That'll be on the floor.
again. Cheshire putting Del Pesh in a lot of screening actions, forcing him to have to guard the ball handler coming off.
Here they are again. Wright has him in front of him. And that's deflected away. McGill got a little piece of that. McGill will run it back, and McGill will blow the layup. Oh, my goodness.
It seemed like he didn't know what he wanted to do there.
That's going to be an offensive foul. Ward Hibbert taking the charge.
And McGill got bailed out on one end by a great defensive stop by Josh Ward Hibbert, who just does the little things so right.
Yeah, McGill, I think, got caught between a dunk and a layup there, didn't he?
Should have gone for the dunk.
Well, should have gone for the 2 points. It doesn't matter which way it goes in. But Kristen running down
Right call.
Ward Hibbert, and that's his 4th personal foul, so he sits down.
Good pace by Newcastle in this possession.
Larry Austin Jr. to the rim, takes the foul, he'll shoot 2.
Just putting Cheshire on their back foot a lot of the time. One-on-one, just going at the defender, driving hard. Nice job of switching hands by Larry Austin, which meant he was going towards Maceo Jack, who tried to reach and get a block instead, got him on the arm.
16-point lead here for the Newcastle Eagles, the biggest of the game. There's 13 seconds left. Caledonia trying to ice that one down in Bristol. That will put them up 5. Green with a chance to make it 6, and well, they will at least push it to Sunday. But as I say, barring a record defeat for Cheshire, the Knicks will still finish second even if they lose here today. Pass is deflected and out of bounds.
Just taking too long in their offense right now of Phoenix. The ball's getting stuck with Rideau, who's a great facilitator, but he's just dribbling too much. Get the ball moving, and it forces Newcastle to have to make adjustments and shift quicker.
4 seconds to go in the shot clock. And White from the elbow knocks it down.
That's a great read when you have Maceo Jack coming to the corner. 2 defenders ran out to stop the 3, and Skylar White just found his space to pop that shot.
Great block from Maceo Jack. It ricochets back to him. White knocks down the 3. You know he's not going to go a whole game without making one eventually.
Especially when he just hit a shot. He's looking for it straight away. He's definitely a rhythm shooter, and he's found it in this 4th.
Timeout is called by the Newcastle Eagles. 81-72 here with still 7 minutes to go. It's finished in Bristol. Caledonia have won 75 points to 80, so that puts Caledonia on 23 wins and still with that mathematical chance of finishing second, although it is, as I say, only really mathematical. Cheshire, though, will want to make something of a recovery. It looks like Manchester are going to do this, doesn't it? With less than 3 minutes to play, they still hold a 7-point lead against the Leicester Riders. And, well, offensive rebound. They can run some clock as well, Manchester. And another offensive rebound. Well, Leicester totally discombobulated without their captain and their point guard, Kimball McKenzie. And their chances of finishing 4th are seemingly going up in smoke here at this moment. Sheffield will be the primary beneficiaries from this defeat, because it means Sheffield will just need to win their final game at home against Plymouth tomorrow to secure themselves 4th spot, unless Leicester can find something in the last 2 minutes.
It's not just about seeding. We spoke about momentum. Leicester want to go in to the playoffs feeling good about themselves and how they're playing together, and a loss to Manchester just would not be that.
No, they got it to 3 there. Jaron Holmes got it to 4, sorry. Jaron Holmes with the 3. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. Here's Whitfield underneath, in off the glass.
Ricky McGill, what an assist. A bounce pass from over the head, on time, on target.
He's had a great game, Ricky McGill. Stats all across the sheet. Holden, a little bit flat on the hook, but enough to go in.
Yeah, nice move right there by Holden, and a post move as that. Cheshire are going to have to keep scrapping away and everyone get involved in their offense.
Whitfield putting it on the floor, and a reach round from LaQuincy Rideau, and that's going to be his 4th personal foul with still 6 minutes to go.
Newcastle around 35% from the 3, but every time they fake it, it looks like Cheshire are jumping, allowing them to get drives and causing fouls.
Whitfield. That's come off the foot of LaQuincy Rideau. So will be a sideline ball. What's the latest in Leicester? It's down to 4, make that 6. There's a minute to play. I think that was William Lee, the former Leicester rider, scoring. Leicester need something here. Holmes for 3. Got it. It's still there. 51 seconds to go. Can they get a stop is the question. It doesn't look like they've got many in this game, as McGill is able to go to the basket and lay it home.
Tough shot by Holmes and Leicester to keep them in it in the last minute.
All right, it would be some smash and grab if they found a way to win that game, as Larry Austin goes to the rim. Rideau is still arguing about the call at the other end of the floor that didn't go his way. Let's go back to it. This will be a winner if it goes. It doesn't. But Manchester with an offensive rebound. Leicester have to foul here. They can't play defense anymore.
They just want it more.
Yeah, they just can't get a defensive rebound. Every time we cut, it seems that they're making offensive rebounds. And is that only the 4th? It's only the 4th foul as well for Leicester. So it'll be a sideline ball for Manchester.
Not much time to go to get another foul and put them on the free throw line.
But even if they do, it makes it a 2-shot game if Manchester make a free throw. Yeah. That's where you've got to come down with the defensive rebound. And it's going to be a frustrating end by the looks of it for the Leicester Riders. Well, there is the foul. Meanwhile, Rye running it back and laying it in.
One of the best teams in fast break offense, and that's why they get it out their hands fast and they have players that can get to the rim.
Whitfield for 3, strings it. And Newcastle just keeping them at arm's length.
Yeah, Whitfield done a great job coming in, especially with Jordan Johnson on 4 fouls, having to sit out for an extended period. Newcastle have kept this gap and even made it bigger.
Shagwar for 3. What a great shot selection that, but they've got an offensive rebound. Stolen away by McGill. McGill running it back. Great fast break by the Newcastle Eagles. Ward Hibbert on the end of it.
Yeah, they said right back at you. We can run fast too. Good job on the 3-on-1 and just being unselfish.
Shagwar off the mark, right with the rebound. There's a foul on it by Ward Hibbert on the floor.
Shagwar not looking as confident from the 3 after he missed that last one badly, hesitating whilst wide open at the top, coming off a big game shooting wise.
Well, Newcastle in control here with 4.5 to play. Timeout call. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back where it's all over in Leicester. Manchester have beaten the Leicester Riders 94-89. Their first victory since December, Manchester. And for Leicester, well, that puts surely a fatal wound in their hopes of a top 4 finish and opens the door for the Sheffield Sharks to claim home advantage in the playoffs.
Huge win by Manchester, who can't make the playoffs themselves, but are still finding ways of controlling it.
McGill knocked away, and it will be a sideline ball.
Cheshire in something called drop coverage there, where Skylar White dropped low to help on the ball handler coming off the ball screen.
McGill round the high screen from the elbow is fouled. So with that result, now Sheffield control the destiny of 4th. If they beat Plymouth tomorrow, they will finish above both Leicester and Newcastle, irrespective, because they have the head-to-head with Newcastle, who could still finish level with them, and Leicester wouldn't be able to catch them on 19 wins. Leicester could theoretically still come 4th if they won their last game and Sheffield lost their last game. That assumes that Newcastle don't win against Manchester as well and finish above all of them.
Sheffield will really want that home court advantage. We spoke about a whole new arena this year for them, and they've done a great job of winning at home.
Here is Rye. Oh, tough finish from Maceo Jack.
I was going to say that's pretty great defense by Newcastle there, and you can tell their scout is to stay out on the shooters and double Rye, but sometimes offense is just better than the defense. A one-footer around the elbow, around the free throw line, just flushes it for Maceo Jack.
Nice shot in the corner, and Newcastle continuing to pile on the pain.
Yeah, Whitfield now 4 for 7 today from the 3 and contributing in a high way.
Nice reply though from Maceo Jack.
Yeah, he needed that one, and it was a long time coming. His shot is just so effortless, comes off his hands so fast. But the one time out of the 3 games that Newcastle won, they tied Cheshire in 3-point makes. The others, Cheshire, were way above them in makes and attempts, as always. Whereas today, Newcastle have hit 8 in comparison to the Cheshire 5, and that's why they're up so much in the game.
Austin. Ward Hibbett for 3. Off the mark. Pulled in by Ward Hibbett.
Number 1 steals man right there, LaQuincy Rideau.
Long rebound comes out to Whitfield. Oh, and there's a collision. 2 players down. And both of them struggling. I think they banged heads as they went after that ball.
It's really not what you want to see, especially so late into the game. Josh Ward Hibbett just coming back after missing a few games, and obviously Maceo Jack has just been an integral part of this Cheshire team.
Here's the permutation graphic coming into this. Obviously we've still got some things to sort out in this one. Bristol are going to end up in 7th because of that defeat, but everything else is still in play, although there is only 8 combinations left in the battle for 4th, and 5 of them end up with Sheffield in 4th. Leicester have 1 in 8 chance, and Newcastle have the other 2, but the reality is it's all up to Sheffield. They just have to win that last game at home and they will secure themselves 4th place tomorrow.
Power in Sheffield's hand and at home.
Well, that's exactly what you wanted, but I guess we were saying that about Leicester 2 hours ago, weren't we?
We were.
And of course, Plymouth will not want to finish last, and that Manchester defeat has opened the door for that. That Manchester victory, sorry, has opened the door for that.
Yeah, I think Bristol will obviously be upset about their loss, but I think they'll be quite fired up to play Cheshire in the first round. They've shown what they can do in a great game for them and blowing them out. So I think that they match up really well, and that's a game that can definitely go to 3.
Tipped in. I'm not sure, was it Delpech got the last touch on that, but it certainly went in. He's claiming it.
Yeah, wants those points. He's done a really good job today. 14 points personal, 50% from the field, 6 offensive rebounds.
Well, they're just trying to run it down to the buzzer here, the Newcastle Eagles. They've really managed to keep that scoreboard ticking in the second half, particularly. 29. Oh, will that count? Oh, my goodness. What a shot that is from Jordan Johnson.
Well, I thought we were at a basketball game and maybe we're at a circus because that was ridiculous. Look how far out he is. Gets the bump. One step. He's fading away from the basket and somehow banks it in.
Oh, but they've waved it off. The referees had a long conversation about it and decided the foul was on the floor and the shot won't count for Jordan Johnson. He will get the chance for the 2 points because Cheshire are over the limit, so he'll get 2 free throws.
Would have been on top 10 if it was
would have been in
an
top
M1.
1, I think.
I think so too. But he's back to the free throw line. A man that knows it very well.
Well, he's got 7 assists to his name and 13 points. Century up for the Newcastle Eagles with a minute still to play. Jack. Oh, he's chipping away at it. Oh, and it's lost out of bounds. I guess the theoretical maths that I keep talking about, every time they take some points out of the board means they've got a few more to play with on Sunday, doesn't it, I guess?
Yeah, and again, it's about rhythm. If he feels good coming out of this game, it may help him start better in the next from the 3.
Well, less than a minute to go, and Ben Thomas going to call a timeout. His team trailing by 15 here. And, well, whatever happens in this last weekend of the British Basketball League season, Newcastle will be feeling good about themselves. They've got 100 on the board against a very good Cheshire team. They're a minute away from beating them. That's the sort of confidence boost you need going into the playoffs.
It is. Being at home, getting that momentum, and doing it with 6 guys in double figures. They played the right way, and I hope this means the success they get from this, they'll continue it towards the playoffs, and they have a chance if everyone plays like this.
Well, they have a double-header to play. They go down to Manchester, who obviously will be buoyed by the fact they've just beaten Leicester, and obviously that's their last home game of the season. They might want to sign off in style in front of their own fans, having gone through such a difficult 2024. As I say, Manchester's win today is their first win of the calendar year. They've waited a long time for that.
They have, but they're a team that there's moments and spurts that you can see they're so talented. You also have to remember a lot of these players are on one-year contracts. They're wanting their next job. So finishing the season out in the right way, producing for your teammate and getting wins will all help with that next step.
Well, Wright is left wide open underneath and he lays it in.
Yeah, that's someone you'd think Newcastle would be aware of so close to the basket.
Well, the points don't matter to Newcastle, but they really don't matter to Cheshire. I'm probably stretching it a little bit, but it is still possible, so they want to take them out. Here is Rideau in the open court laying it in for 2. 25 and 11 assists for LaQuincy Rideau.
Double digits in assists. It just shows how well he fits into their offense.
Well, the Newcastle fans are more than happy to wave him off. That's his 5th personal foul. And he's been chuntering away all game, so the Eagles fans are glad to see the back of him.
Yeah, and almost having a win is even sweeter for the fans tonight.
Well, he's got a wry smile, I think, but he's not agreed with too much in the way of the whistles through the 40 minutes today.
But again, who is it on the free throw line? Jordan Johnson, who's drawn 7 fouls. Throughout a game that adds up, and you see it puts the likes of Hidot on the bench to finish.
Ryan's going to fire up the 3. Green got a block on it. And, well, the shot clock is still on, so Newcastle can't quite take it to the buzzer, but they can just about. They're saying don't do anything, but they have to shoot. Well, they could take a 24-second violation, I suppose. The Eagles fans on their feet applauding what has been a good performance by their team, and it's going to end once again with that man on the free throw line, Jordan Johnson.
Again, Cheshire, that's not how you want to end a quarter. We've seen a few mistakes right in the last few seconds. And you're putting the best free throw maker in the league back on the line to just get more of a rhythm and to feel good about this win. Set up a bed right there for him. He lives there.
Well, he makes them both. And Hudson will kick it forward. Jack will fire up the 3 on the buzzer. That will not go. And the Newcastle Eagles' final regular season home game has ended in victory. And what a victory. An impressive win for Mark Stoutle and his team, beating Cheshire by 15.
It's great to see them step up in the moment. As we spoke about, it was probably a bigger game for Newcastle compared to Cheshire, who are pretty much set in second place, and they stepped up in a big way and showed how they want to play going into the playoffs.
Well, they've got a chance to make it a double winning weekend tomorrow against the Northwest. They're going down to Manchester to take them on, and that's important now that they back up this good performance with another good one tomorrow. Wherever it puts them in the seeding, it gives them a little bit of momentum going into the postseason. Player of the game, a lot of good performances to choose from. Where did you go to, Kyla?
Well, we said 6 plays in double digits. I thought the bench did an excellent job. 33 points from the bench. Have to shout out Delpesh and Whitfield, who came out and was really productive. But tonight's player of the game has to be Ricky McGill. This man right here who does it all on both ends of the floor. Look at that stat line. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. He drew 4 fouls on him. Offensively, he gets it done. You cannot leave that much space for him. Quick first step and crossover, ability to change the way he finishes inside, a light touch over the rim. Coming off ball screen, splits the defender, finishes on the right hand, and then he gets into his mid-range game and his passing. Lovely job, over the head bounce pass through the middle of the lane, and this is when you want to start playing your best basketball, and this man is.
Well, that was the thing. In the third quarter where they started to take control, he started making a couple of shots, and he's with us now. Ricky McGill, he's getting a little pep talk from his teammates. Ricky, great performance from you and the team. Last home game of the regular season, that's the way to win.
Appreciate that. You know, just came out and played hard today. Played Eagles basketball, came out to win today. Big win for us. Move on to tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing. This last weekend, obviously, you're fighting for seeding, but how much of it is about getting yourselves in the right mindset, in the right rhythm for the playoffs next week?
We know we gave up a couple games. We just got to come out, be prepared for every game we got left. I mean, we got 1 game left. Playoffs is coming up. It's do or die now. We just got to give it our all.
You limited Cheshire to 7 from 34 from the 3. Talk about just your scouting and your game plan going into this.
Just stop them from shooting threes, box out basically, and play our defense and run and play Eagles basketball.
And a good contribution up and down the roster. It's always great for everybody when you get 6, 7 guys in double figures.
Right, yeah, it's definitely good for us. I mean, let me see, I don't know where the stat sheet is at. Oh, it's up there. But yeah, that's definitely good for us. I mean, we just got to keep playing how we playing right now. I mean, I feel like we're back to how we was playing when we was on the 7, 8 game winning streak. Just got to come out tomorrow and prove ourselves again.
Well, great performance tonight. Good luck tomorrow and in the playoffs.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
Ricky McGill there, our player of the game. Let's have a look at the numbers from today's game. You already touched on that. They got their volume up, Cheshire, 34 points. That's what they normally do. 34 threes attempted, sorry, but they only made 7 of them.
But it's the type of threes they took, which looked very different to what they're comfortable in most games. They were rushed. They were a little bit deeper than the three-point line is, and they weren't as much in the flow of their offense, and that leads to 20%, very low for them. And Newcastle just got everything right. Ricky McGill talked about stopping them from the 3, but also understanding he needs to crash rebounds, as three-point shots are quite unpredictable in where they go, and they controlled the boards 47-37.
Well, let's have a look back at the story of the game here. And really, this was one that Newcastle, right from the beginning, felt like they were going to win. They got that early double-figure lead. Cheshire made a bit of a run at them, but they responded well in the third quarter as well.
Yeah, defensively, they were all locked in. They understood their assignment, what they wanted to force Cheshire into. And offensively, they just played great one-on-one offense right there. Larry Austin just going past defenders, and you saw that all night. And then if anyone stepped up, they were able to then facilitate for each other and build the advantage even bigger.
And that's the thing. Newcastle in full flight are quite a formidable sight, aren't they? Offensively, they can be very good, and we see 100 against this Cheshire team. You've got to be able to run, but you also have to score in the half court too.
Lots of weapons, but there's players that know their role. Delpesh crashing the boards multiple times to get second chance points. Larry Austin Jr., 14.6% from 3, but it doesn't matter because he finds ways to get inside the paint, and Cheshire could not stop him going downhill. Both teams great in the fast break. You see that all the time from the Phoenix, and this man right here, Aaron Wright. But just too much for Newcastle, with Cheshire just reacting to everything, and Newcastle making more of the right reads throughout the game.
Well, Austin, we talked about him. He was another one in the running for MVP. He nearly had a triple-double himself. He was 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 16 points as well. So here's the results from the final week of the regular season so far. London taking on Surrey last night. That will now be the playoff game. That's the 1-8 matchup. We know that because of that London win last night. Big win for the Newcastle Eagles here today, beating Cheshire by 15. That means the race for second isn't quite done yet, because Caledonia have beaten Bristol Flyers 75 points to 80. The big shocker is the first win of 2020-24 even for the Manchester Giants, beating the Leicester Riders on the road 94-89. So what that means is tomorrow's game for Sheffield could see them secure 4th place in the standings. They play Plymouth at 8 p.m. That is preceded at 5 p.m. by Newcastle's trip to Manchester. And then the final day of the season, the Leicester Riders going down to Surrey, looking to bounce back from that shock defeat. And then London Lions will take on the Cheshire Phoenix in what will probably be the 1v2 matchup, although mathematically it won't be secured until after that game. So we will get some reaction now from the Newcastle Eagles coach, Mark Stoutel. Mark, 100 points on the board, loads of guys, 6 guys in double figures. That's the sort of win you got to love as a coach.
No question. You know, we talk about trying to have that target, 6 guys in double figures sharing the ball. We want to try and get more than 25 assists, by attacking the paint, sharing the ball, getting out in transition. So, yeah, offensively, I was really pleased. Most pleased was our defense in that third quarter. Defensively, I thought we set the tone for the second half. We know that these guys are dangerous, and we know they score in bunches. I know, that they're the highest fourth quarter scoring team in the league, just about 25 points a game. And, it showed it, the way that they got back in the fourth quarter. But overall, overall, really happy for us how we shared the ball offensively, played with a bit of joy, played with a bit of pace, sharing the ball. So, yeah, pleasing win for us.
And Ricky McGill with another excellent performance. Obviously, you guys have had your ups and downs this season, but he's been a guy, we saw it in Europe where he was MVP of the regular season and a top performance here today.
Yeah, I mean, people on the outside always look at, these guys get judged every time they play. I understand it, but I see the work that Ricky puts in on a daily basis and understand, Ricky's impact in every aspect of the game, So there's a couple of things there, a few plays I'm sure Ricky would want back, but overall his impact today was huge, and I'm really excited to see, where he's going to get to over the playoffs down the stretch here.
And you guys kept them to 20% from the three-point line. You won the battle of the boards. Those are two key statistics when you play Cheshire.
No question, and that's what we kind of set out to do. Again, I'd said it pre-game when we spoke, their roster construction's been really impressive, and they space the floor well, and they have shooting threats, most of the times 4 or sometimes even 5 of the guys on the floor. So it's not about single effort, it's like multiple efforts, multiple rotations. So yeah, I thought again, we scored the ball well, and maybe that gave us a bit of life on the defensive end as well. But yeah, really happy with our intent defensively, and we have to build upon this now. We have to continue to build, understand that this one's done. We tip off in less than 24 hours here on the road, so we got to build upon it.
Well, good luck for that game. Thanks for talking to us, Mark.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Daniel.
Well, a great win for the Newcastle Eagles. Let's see what it does to the standings. Well, Leicester dropped to 17 and 18. Newcastle 18 and 17, move level with Sheffield, but of course Sheffield have the head-to-head, so it's in their hands going into that last game. If they win, they will stay above the Newcastle Eagles. Still quite a lot to sort out in the last couple of games, but Newcastle, wherever they finish, have given themselves a bit of momentum.
They said, and Coach Struthel said it best, he hopes they can build upon this. This is the foundation to how he wants them to play, and it's the perfect time to have 6 guys in double figures and score over 100 points. Can they build upon it and do the same thing game in, game out?
Well, thank you very much, Kyla. Thank you for joining us. 4 more games left in the regular season. Make sure you're back with us tomorrow to see how it all shakes out. But for now, goodbye.